Good afternoon everyone and welcome back to the Rah Rah Rabbit. So currently there is a hashtag going around on social media to get Netflix to remove the film Split from their library. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about my thoughts on the matter. If you've never seen the film Split before, it is a horror/thriller film by M. Night Shyamalan. And it focuses on a character called Kevin, played by James McAvoy, who has dissociative identity disorder. Kevin has 23 different alters, but we only really get to see a handful of them throughout the film, such as Dennis, who is a guy with OCD who has a bit of a creepy thing for young girls. You've got Patricia, who is this sort of matriarchal figure, and you've got Hedwig, who's this quite cute and sweet child alter. Unfortunately, these personalities that are the most dominant and routinely take control believe there is another alter in the system known as the Beast, who has superhuman strength, enhanced speed and agility, has the ability to scale walls, and eats people. And they are trying to bring the Beast forward so that he can rid the world of the impure. Now they kidnap a group of girls and keep them hostage with the intent of sacrificing them to the Beast. So straight away, as you can see, it's not the best representation of dissociative identity disorder. It plays on people's fears around crazy serial killer alter egos, whilst throwing in a bit of supernatural flair. But personally, I don't mind the film. I'm not crazy about it, for lack of a better word. It's not life-changing, it's just a horror movie. It's neither here nor there for me. I've seen it once, I don't need to see it again. Now, I haven't seen the sequel, Glass, so I don't know how the character or characters develop. I don't know where the story goes, so I can't really speak about that. But yeah, Split, for me, is just another horror film. The thing that I actually find quite interesting about the film, and that I actually quite like, is that they do refer to it as dissociative identity disorder. They don't call it multiple personality disorder, they don't refer to it as split personalities, they do refer to it as dissociative identity disorder. And a lot of the information that they have in the film is actually quite accurate. It even has the therapist character fighting to get DID more recognition to prove that it actually exists. However, on the flip side of things, you have this quite over and exaggerated portrayal of DID mixed in with all these supernatural elements that I think sort of further stigmatise the disorder by making it seem quite dangerous or violent, and I guess just confusing the real aspects of it with the fictional aspects. And you'd like to think the audience at home can make that distinction, but of course, if you haven't been exposed to something, if you don't have access to the right kinds of information about something, then all you have to really go on is what you've been presented. So understandably, there are many people with DID who don't like the film, who really want Netflix to take it down, who feel it only further stigmatizes the disorder, and ultimately makes them more afraid of speaking openly about their own experiences out of fear of how other people are going to take it. I've also seen people with DID, who don't want the film to be taken down, who find comfort in the movie, who can, relate to some of the struggles and trauma that Kevin has gone through, even if they can't relate to the whole, cannibal superhuman thing. There are still elements within the film that might speak to them. Now, films and media have always been quite problematic. And I think we're currently going through a period where people are wanting there to be, more accountability for things that have been done in the past through films. Wanting better representation overall. I think we're going through quite a big change with all that stuff at the moment. As a trans person, I'm used to there being pretty horrible portrayals of trans people in films and the media. Ace Ventura is one that always kind of sticks out in my mind as being quite horribly transphobic, actually. There's a scene towards the end of the film where he reveals that this character is a trans woman by ripping off all of her clothes and showing that she, tucks her genitals, and then everyone proceeds to vomit and be disgusted by this, which is really horrible. And as a trans person, admittedly a trans man, rather than a trans woman, you know, it kind of hurts to think that trans people are seen as disgusting, and that, you know, the thought of sexual contact with us is somehow vomit inducing. So I've seen areas of my life, you know, portrayed pretty grossly in films. As far as having a film removed, though, you know, it can be a complicated issue. You know, ideas of censorship and what can and can't be shown are brought up, and you know, you have people thinking that, you know, SJWs and PC culture is, you know, swooping in and trying to remove anything that could be deemed slightly offensive. And yeah, I think there is a lot of material out there which, you know, by today's standards are not acceptable. Obviously, it's not a black and white issue, and it really depends on, you know, each individual film or bit of media that is problematic. But you know, I remember playing Mafia 3, and there was a warning before the game saying that the racist attitudes depicted in the game are a reflection of that time, and that the studio don't condone those attitudes. You know, they're not in support of that, but, you know, for the sake of being accurate to that time period, they had to add those bits in. And I think statements like that are really good to have sort of before maybe a film or a game or whatever, to kind of let people know their stance on those issues, and I guess as a warning to let people know that there might be something uncomfortable that they're going to watch, and that it isn't a necessarily an accurate representation of that thing. So I guess with Split, for example, maybe if there was some kind of statement beforehand to let people know that, maybe that would be better. I don't know. So I'm interested to hear from other people about, you know, how they feel about this. You know, other people with DID. Do you think the film should be taken down? Do you think that it should stay up? You know, did you enjoy the film, or, you know, do you feel that it does more harm than good? You know, it's a conversation that I'd like to get started. So yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say on the matter. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you would like to support me on Patreon, there is a link in the description below, so feel free to go and check that out. As well as that, there are all the links to my various social media accounts below. I would appreciate people following me there if you don't already. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I have been Max, aka the Rara Rabbit. We'll see you in the next video.